And now, the general weather around Alaska.
Good afternoon. I'm National Weather Service meteorologist John Cowen with your Alaska Public Forecast. We'll start off taking a look at our hazard map for mainland Alaska. You can see we have some winter weather advisories in effect for the southern portion of the state, generally extending from the lower Kuskokwim over to the Copper River, excluding much of the Anchorage Bowl. This is going to be for continued rain and snow through tomorrow morning for much of the area. Wind advisories in effect as well for portions of the Alaska Range for some strong southerly winds moving through Windy Pass and Isabel Pass through this evening. And then over the northern Panhandle, we do have a flood watch that remains in effect through tonight for some continued heavy rain across the region. Taking a look at our satellite loop, you can see our next low pressure center moving up into the Gulf of Alaska, and this is going to be responsible for a lot of the influx of moisture over the next couple of days, helping to keep things pretty unstable across much of mainland Alaska. We have a weak front that extends across much of the western interior into the Brooks Range, and this is bringing snow showers to much of interior Alaska, as well as warmer than average temperatures pretty much statewide at this point, although we do have across the Bering Sea a cold front moving its way south from St. Paul. This is going to help to bring some cooler temperatures down from the north and keep generally unsettled weather across much of the Aleutians over the next couple of days. And taking a look at our surface map, you can see there's our cold front, again moving south across the Bering. However, the opposite is true across the Gulf Coast, where we have warmer air moving in from the south, and a series of low pressure centers will continue to move north over the next couple of days and support just broadly unstable weather. We do have some weak high pressure in over the eastern interior, kind of helping to keep things fairly stable across the Tanana Valley, as well as 40 Mile Country. However, over the next couple of days, as those fronts continue to move north across mainland Alaska, that high pressure is going to erode and generally just lead to a very troughy and unsettled pattern leading into this weekend. Across much of the Gulf Coast and into the Panhandle, we expect a mix of rain and snow, with the Panhandle expecting mainly rain, as temperatures are going to be very mild for this time of year across that region. Getting into Thursday, you can see again just a broadly troughy pattern across much of the state. Snow showers expected for a good chunk of the interior, rain again for much of the immediate coastline and the Panhandle. And then by Friday again, still just broadly troughy. We do have weak high pressure still over the far northwestern Arctic, and that's going to help keep temperatures a little bit on the cool side especially over the western Arctic slope and into the Bering. However, statewide into the Panhandle again looking pretty warm. Let's take a look at our temperatures. So Thursday morning, temperatures pretty near average across much of the northern portion of Alaska from the Brooks Range north. However, everywhere else looking pretty warm for this time of year, particularly across the Panhandle, where low temperatures looking not even to get out of the 40s. So low to mid 40s across the Panhandle, mid 30s to even 40 across much of the Gulf Coast. Cooler temperatures as you go farther inland, but even for Anchorage, Thursday morning could be either side of freezing for most of the Anchorage Bowl. Getting into Thursday afternoon, high temperatures pushing into the upper 30s for the Anchorage Bowl, 40s and even pushing 50 for the southern portions of the Panhandle. Again, across much of northern Alaska, Brooks Range looking a good bit warmer than normal. Temperatures getting up into the teens, even pushing 20 in a few areas. However, the North Slope is going to see single digits either side of zero. And then across much of the Aleutians, temperatures in the mid 30s, which again is pretty standard for this time of year, with that cooler air continuing to be pulled in from the north. Friday morning, low temperatures looking to get below freezing across much of the Aleutian chain. However, you will notice that Friday morning we do have some fairly warm temperatures even now creeping into Cook Inlet. Across much of the immediate coastline, temperatures not even getting below freezing for many areas Friday morning. And then across the interior, temperatures bottoming out only in the single digits to even teens across much of the central interior. Again, pretty warm for this time of year. The Panhandle, we're looking at temperatures bottoming out in the upper 30s to low 40s. And then Friday afternoon, temperatures climbing again to near 50 over the southern Panhandle. Up near 40 in much of the Anchorage Bowl. Temperatures near freezing, even getting up into the central interior. So again, much warmer than average. Here's our 6 to 10 day outlook. You can see things don't really change pattern-wise in the long-term forecast, as we have warmer than average temperatures generally expected across much of mainland Alaska. Even northern Alaska is still slightly warmer than average. Much of the Aleutian chains now getting into some of that warmer weather. And then our 6 to 10 day precipitation outlook, again showing wetter than average conditions across much of southeastern Alaska, near to slightly above average for much of the rest of the state. And that'll wrap up our public forecast. I'm meteorologist John Cowen.